The craziest moments on paternity court.
Listen, Jerome, get her, Jerome.
Listen,
Miss Christian.
I curd about a little bit, but not too much.
I ain't finna keep standing here talking about something.
listen,
It was
Your
about some
Honor.
sex.
Hold on.
And love since the day you met me. What are you
Man,
saying?
come on,
That's
Your
why you
Honor.
left your ex to come be with me. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for the results now.
Why she?
Confusion and craziness together lead to a promiscuous way of life. Hence, the plaintiff not only admitted to cheating with another guy, she also had a threesome with her peep. That's why Mr. Maltese was convinced he didn't father her child. So to help them out in the paternity loop, we need a DNA test.
You admit to having a threesome behind the defendant's back and then sleeping with his friend 1 week later.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're unsure who fathered your 1-year-old daughter, Brooklyn.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Maltese, you claim you found Miss Phillips' diary and it contained a full list of potential fathers.
Yes, Your Honor.
The rodeo began with Miss Phillips quickly throwing out all the lies he had told her about his age and his side friendships, and then the defendant replying to the judge when he found out about her infidelity and shared how he endured embarrassment and shock from her actions. You can't laugh at your nasty work, miss.
Back in December of 2011, broke up, and she came back to me crying, asking me to take her back. But at the time, before she even came back to me, we was at a friend's house, and she yelled at me in front of all my friends and in front of her friends also. That's why I had sex with one of your friends.
She said that out loud.
In front of all my friends. Embarrassed me, embarrassed herself.
Seems like acting selfish in the relationship is not one-sided. However, what the plaintiff said next is something you do not even blurt out in anger. Yeah, just listen to how Miss Phillips defended her actions strongly against him by sharing this in court.
I let him know that his friend, his potential friend, not the threesome, but his friend was a possibility. And he blew up on me and telling me, go be with this guy, go give him oral sex,
Your Honor.
go. And I just basically told him my kid doesn't need a dad. You're either gonna be there or you're not.
No, your child does need a dad.
Then Mr. Maltese told the judge about proof he had of the plaintiff's disloyalty from her diary when it was discussed to get to the point of view from both sides. But Miss Phillips was emotional, and she argued about his daddy's duties.
Are 18 names listed? Quite a list.
And out of those 18, 2 to 3 of them are my friends that she slept with.
Mr. Maltese, you're saying you're over taking care of a child.
Yeah.
That time you think it's your daughter. So you're over there doing what you feel like you should be doing.
I'm doing what a real man would
And
do.
as you're cleaning,
The defendant continued his statements on other multiple father possibilities and shared that months after their daughter's birth, he discovered the plaintiff's scandals and was left broken. And the judge had to step in and called out Miss Phillips for her arrogance.
before you get to why he didn't do this and he's not the father and he's not this, you've got to take responsibility for the fact that he may not believe he is the child's father.
I told him before she was even here.
He is present in this child's life, right or wrong, but that may be the reason. And part of the reason he has to doubt Miss Phillips is because of your actions.
Things got heated when the plaintiff was ranting about his irresponsible behavior towards her daughter, and she couldn't stop herself from cursing. Then, defending her respect, she said this about cheating.
I made mistakes. I forgive myself. I hold my head up high.
Is that why you're cursing in the courtroom?
Because he makes me so angry with rage.
Broken up and
This
sleeping
is
with my friends is still
You're
cheating.
talking about an adult relationship.
So, why is it that you have to sleep with people he knows? That's just nasty. All the men in the world, you want to go out and do your thing.
About the father's duties question, the plaintiff shared how one night she asked Mr. Maltese's help to look after their daughter, and he acted completely ignorant in the situation. But the defendant had an answer to this as well.
I lost my car. It was in the shop. I needed him to keep her overnight. I asked him, keep her overnight, please. I work nights. I cannot go get her on the bus and take her home on the bus late at night. He left voicemails on my phone of my daughter crying, dad, dad, dad. Like, what am I gonna think as a mother that's happening to my child?
Did that happen, Mr. Maltese?
Yes, it has, Your Honor.
How could you do this when you're a father? Upon this, she called him a total control freak. After the plaintiff's witness's testimony, Miss Phillips got mad over his behavior as an irresponsible and absent dad in their daughter's life. She also compared her daughter's life to her childhood and felt broken saying this. The poor woman was so wrong, but torn at the same time.
I love you so much and I want to be there, and then he wants to say, come get your kid, and then he wants to be there, and then he doesn't want to be there. I can't deal with it. My daughter doesn't know it now, but she will. She's gonna grow up seeing him come in and out of her life because he broke my heart multiple times.
Mr. Maltese, you are her father.
26-year-old woman came to court to open her paternity case to know the identity of her real father and wanted permission to have a DNA test to get closure. The defendant, Mr. Christian, on the other hand, completely denied her claim and said he was sure he wasn't the dad, no matter what she had been told all her life. We hope she gets the results she wants.
You opened your case hoping the court will grant you a paternity test so you can prove to the defendant that he is your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Christian, there is no need for a DNA test because you know you are not the plaintiff's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The judge asked Miss Christian why she should be granted a paternity test, and she shared a solid reason for it, but still was unsure of the truth. The troubled woman said how her life had been impacted by an in-and-out-of-life daddy. Why would you leave someone after giving them your name?
And so you've had to bear the burden of this paternity issue.
Yeah, and I've been the only one willing to step up and find out the truth and be the mature person in this situation.
The defendant replied to her cries, revealing the contrary nature of his relationship with her mother. They weren't fully committed, and he signed for the first baby, but kept his hands back for the second time, which made the plaintiff call him out for being ignorant all his life. His words don't add up.
I don't know this woman. She only been in his life for 3 years. I'm 26 years old. What can you say about this situation? I'm the innocent person in this situation. You want to sit there and cry and you a grown man and I've been going through all this? I'm the innocent person. I got a baby on the way. I need to know who my family is.
You're right. You're right.
Calm down.
The judge asked the plaintiff's witness about her mother's relationship with the defendant, and she said that she got them together and revealed he was very fatherly with Miss Christian after her birth, but things turned around when he got married. Now, listen to her crushing struggles for finding her father.
When Miss Christian was born, Mr. Christian was taking care of her like she was his child.
Exactly what I'm saying,
accepting
Your Honor.
her.
Basically
Yes.
like a deadbeat father. Your Honor, I had to look for him when I was 7. I had to find him because I don't have my mom's last name. I have his last name. So if I'm not yours, why do I have your last name? Why do you keep being in and out of my life?
Come on, man, own your responsibilities. The witness continued, and she said that she had hidden a lot of ugly truths from her niece, but her father had been very irresponsible. Now, listen to this traumatic experience of the plaintiff, which leads them to argue with each other.
He didn't have no time for no kid.
I was living with his mother when I went back to try to get my high school diploma.
Exactly.
This is the main reason why I'm here now, because they kicked me out a week before Christmas.
You can't tell her to close her mouth.
And
I can't tell her
she
to close
does
her
need to
mouth.
shut up.
Let's get
Some order.
The defendant said that he had tried to grow his bond with Miss Christian several times in her childhood, but it never worked. He also shared an incident with the plaintiff, but quickly stated his reasons for doing so. Both parties started arguing again. He is not owing anything in this case yet.
If you had the doubt, what made you go pick her up?
I, myself, know who my father is. I never was able to spend any time with him growing up, so I didn't want her to have to go through that type of stuff of not knowing who her father was or knowing who your father is and not being able to get the support that you need from father.
The judge asked Mr. Christian whether he signed a birth certificate, and he declined and said he had paid insurance for her, but the plaintiff called it a lie and disclosed a new debate about blood tests. Listen to him about the shocking results that made him an absent father. He could have done better, but maybe he never wanted it in the first place.
I took a blood test, 99.8% that me and her mother didn't possess the proper gene in order to create Preston.
Where did you see those results?
They sent it to me in the mail, and I wish I had kept it. And that was when she was 2 years old. Her mother has lied to her for all these years.
A doctor's testimony was brought in the case to understand the accuracy of blood test results, and it was revealed that there were still some chances of probability. But the defendant still disbelieved his paternity and shared this incident in the court.
She over there clapping, it ain't funny.
I'll punch her right.
No. Who was clapping?
She clapping and laughing like it's funny.
I have not laughed.
Oh, you clap. You clap, but you can get it.
Because you over there downgrading somebody
You know what?
you don't even know.
Listen, Jerome, get her, Jerome. Miss Christian, Mr. Christian, you are not the father.
Playboys are considered the worst of all mankind. But have you ever seen one who's dumb as well? No? We'll see this case where a woman wanted the defendant to believe that he fathered her kid, but he not only denied it, but didn't even admit his 5-year relationship with the plaintiff, Miss Sales. So to get closure for her, a DNA test is needed.
Since the day my daughter was born, because she was light-skinned with gray eyes, that was not his child because I'm too dark to have a light-skinned baby.
Mr. Jackson, she said you were in a 5-year relationship. Is that true?
No, ma'am.
What were we doing, Miko?
What were you doing?
Huh?
You know, she was like my side woman.
Playboy Mr. Jackson is not just careless, but dumb as well. He admitted boldly that she was just a side woman to him because she was sexy and added that she was smacking other guys beside him. But she denied it, saying he was messing around in her house every day for a year straight. Then the plaintiff shared their relationship timeline to reveal his terrible lies.
When I moved back in town, he never let me know about this relationship he had. He never said anything to me about it. And by the time he actually started trying to confess that he had a girlfriend, we had already been together for 6 to 8 months, already having sex with each other on the regular. He's a sorry liar.
The judge asked them about pregnancy, so Ms. Sales told them the whole situation. She shared the illness about her cyst issues. They also had planned a baby, so while they were at the hospital, after some tests, they did this.
I was getting a lot of tests ran and things telling me no, I wasn't pregnant at the time because I had polyp. Nurse explained that it was really hard for me to get pregnant and my chances was very slim. But we had sex at the hospital that same night. And then—
In the hospital?
Yeah, so after they, got me together and got my body together, yeah, believe me, it wasn't that.
Negative,
No.
Upon the judge's question of Miss Sales' infidelity, the defendant said his friend told him about the affair with a white dude, but the plaintiff jumped up and cleared the air in this way. Then he shared another cliffhanger of a text, but she refused to keep up with his lies. I mean, things are not adding up here.
He is lying.
So what about the guy with the lock?
A random person he found on my messenger that I guess had said, "What's up, sexy?" Extra 100 guys that do that too, and he picked that one out because he was light-skinned.
Oh, so you're saying he concocted the cheating story after Micaiah was born?
Yeah.
Based upon her skin color?
Yes.
Well, the Playboy seems to be in trouble as he can't back up himself on the court. He was given another chance to turn in his lies as he brought the conception calendar, but his dates are even more complex than a woman's menstrual dates. His fishy dates turned back at him harder than ever.
So when do you finally find out Miss Sales is pregnant?
It's around like September.
There it is, September.
Yes, ma'am.
Micaiah was born on May 9th. So is it your testimony that you didn't have sex,
Yes.
nor in August,
Yes, Your Honor.
nor in September?
He's
No sex
lying.
with
He
that
just
all,
said
yeah.
he loved it. Why would he stop? He is lying.
I mean, he looked like he lying. I don't even have to say it.
The defendant wasn't believable at all, so his witness was brought to the court, and she gave testimony about a DNA test that the plaintiff refused to do. The test refusal by Miss Sales led to more questions, and even brought up a funny story about the case. After all the lies, it was time to get to the results.
I guess she seen me more serious about it, because I've been saying I'm supposed to be getting a DNA test for a while.
And did you all ever park and get out the car and go towards the courthouse?
We did.
And then what happened?
We left. It was just too much at the time.
This lie is too much.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson, you are the father.
An on and off relationship is always a headache, but what can you do if someone wants to have it in their life by choice? A woman wanted to prove the paternity of her youngest child to her ex, with whom she already had 4 kids before. Her purpose is to win him back, but the defendant said she was a rocky person and didn't accept the baby. So, to get answers for her, a DNA test is required.
It was good in the beginning when we first started having children. And then after that, me and her started both doing our own little thing. And we was already about to split, but she ended up getting pregnant. But at that time, she was already messing around with other guys.
The testimony started with the plaintiff and defendant both telling about their relationship. Ms. Thomas said they grew apart because he always cheated on her. And Mr. Nelson said he was still on good terms with her, but once he tried getting back with her. And the plaintiff's response was this.
He cheated on me throughout almost our whole entire relationship.
So, Ms. Thomas, why put up with that?
We went through hard times. Why wouldn't you want to make something like that work with somebody you had all these years with, all these kids with, and you just want to...
That's why I don't even know this chat. Man.
He gave up the relationship. I wish it was that easy for me during them times to just throw it away.
Ms. Thompson continued and said she didn't feel guilty about cheating on him and did it to even the score with her boyfriend in their 5-year relationship. The defendant then said she was sleeping with another guy besides him at the same time, and she denied it with her proof. Man, how were they cheating but still hooking up?
How long had you all been together when you discovered she was cheating?
5?
Yeah.
5 years and 4 children. So Jakai is potentially your 5th child together.
It's hard for me to put a nail on that if she was messing with me and the same guy around the same time. When I got back from North Carolina,
Your Honor, that is not true.
I said, you gained some weight. She was like, oh, I've been eating a lot.
Here is more lying and confusion about cheating. The plaintiff admitted her cheating to Mr. Nelson calmly, but the defendant added that he got to know about it through his friends. Upon this, she denied it and shocked everyone about his actions after her pregnancy news.
He was going around telling everybody that I was pregnant. Up until the time he met Miss Campbell, that's when he started denying my son. Mind you, he was cheating on me with her. I didn't know about her until I found out she was calling him through Facebook, and he was trying to lie then because we were still messing around even when he was with her.
Mr. Nelson's wife gave testimony and shared that she had discovered his cheating through a video and also during a meetup together with the plaintiff. Okay, so he had side chicks going on from both sides, huh? The defendant was too confused to choose between his side chick and wife, so he finally did this.
Me and my wife had got into some problems, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was like, what would be different this time if I did come back? My mama told me, that's your covenant, you can't break your covenant because that's between me, her, and God. I broke my covenant, and I've been repenting for it and stuff like that. My wife, we back on good terms now.
My hopes for any results are gone. But the judge asked both of them about the kid, and the defendant said they never planned the baby after 5 years. But Miss Thomas denied it and showed astonishing proof of Mr. Nelson, who was still an official cheater.
He calls me and tells me how much he misses me and wants to be with me. It's not the other way around, and I have messages.
So what is your plan for real? You the plan. So are you really gonna leave her this time? I want my family back. I hear you, but you said this last time, and I really need to know if you serious this time. This the kind of conversation a married man's having?
The defendant's demeanor was too complicated for a result, so the judge addressed both women and advised them to be better in their decisions. Upon this, the plaintiff shared her broken feelings over this mess. The poor woman got nothing but pain. And now, the results were revealed.
I didn't know he was married until, a week later, before I had my son. He didn't tell me. He denied it when he came to the hospital. 6 years, 5 kids, sacrifices, everything we've been through, it's like she got it easy.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Nelson, you are the father.